guys, it's Ashley and this is Downright Bookish, and today I'm going to be talking a bit about my goals for 2020, specifically my goals for the first quarter of 2020. So this year I want to do something a little bit different and set quarterly goals versus yearly goals, because I find that I'm really eager in the beginning of 2020 following my yearly goals, and then that slowly tapers off to by like August, I don't even remember what my yearly goals were, and I'm really not following through on any of those goals. So this year I want to set manageable quarterly goals because I think I can stay focused and motivated over a course of like a 3-month period, focus on those goals, and then assess on what goals I was really successful with, what goals I didn't really keep up, and then kind of make those adjustments, modifications, and then set goals for the next quarter. And hopefully that will help me progress and show much more of like an improvement over the course of the year versus just kind of maintaining the same goal over the entire year and kind of going through with it even if it isn't the most productive, or if I'm not following through. So yeah, all that to say, this year I'm going to be doing quarterly goals, and I have like a really cool plan that I'm doing this year. I am setting up like a Kanban board essentially, where I'm keeping track of my major goals for the quarter and then have a list of sticky notes for each task. I'll have a couple pictures and show you a little bit of that as I speak from this video, but basically I'll have like sticky notes for each task, and then the sticky notes that I'm working on I'll move to another board, and then as those are completed I'll move it to a third board. So basically it gives me some accountability. It keeps me on track because I know exactly what I'm supposed to be focusing on every week, and that is something that I'm really excited for. And it's already like a couple of days into the year, and I've been using the system so far, and I'm really enjoying it. So that is a system that I'm going to be using for this year. I'm really enjoying it. I was really inspired by 2 YouTubers to kind of start this system. The first person is Helen Redfern. She's a writer, YouTuber, and she also does a lot of videos on journals and kind of tracking her writing goals and all of that. And she is the person that kind of introduced me to this Kanban system, but she originally kind of got inspired by the system by Sarah Cannon of Heart Breathings, and I'll put both of their YouTube channels down below. Sarah Cannon is also a writer, and she basically kind of came up with this system, and Helen kind of modified it to fit her needs, and I kind of did the same thing. So overall, those 2 people, they have really great videos on their channel of like tracking writing goals, all of that. So if you're interested, I'll put their links down below, as well as the videos that really inspired me to kind of get started on this Kanban. They're really the 2 people that like really was just like, I need to do this system. Let's get into the goals that I want to stick to for this quarter. So I do have a few bigger yearly goals, and these yearly goals are kind of ultimately what I want to achieve, and then the quarterly goals kind of relate to those. But my yearly goals are basically kind of building my YouTube channel, just writing my novel, those kind of like really big picture things. So let's start with my quarterly goals for Q1, and yeah, so I have 3 different categories that I'm really focusing on in Q1, and those are my reading goals, my channel goals, and my writing goals. So let's start with reading goals. So this year I am still doing Goodreads. I'm setting my Goodreads yearly goal to 10 books this year, which is a lot lower than I normally set it, and a lot lower than the books that I expect to read this year, but I kind of just want to lower my expectations and really focus on some of my other goals rather than just like trying to hit a number of books. So I'm setting it to 10 for the entire year. So that's a go. 10 books this year, and then I'll feel like accomplished. I've read those 10 books, and then I can read more. And a lot of the goals that I have in here will require me to read more than 10 books this year. So that's also kind of another thing. So 10 is by far not the number that I will achieve. I'll definitely read more than 10 books, but I just didn't want to be so caught in the system of trying to accomplish all of the books that I wanted to read for my Goodreads goal. And I found after setting my Goodreads goal in 2019 to lower than I expected, I was reading more of what I wanted to read and less about like picking up smaller books or picking up books that I think I would finish quicker just to hit that goal. The second is so to read at least 2 books a month that have been on my TBR for more than a year. My TBR is growing and growing, and the amount of books that I've been reading really haven't been helping like cut back on my TBR at all. But ideally, I would like to get to the books that have been on my TBR the longest, because those I'm probably the least interested in picking up. So it takes a little bit more work to pick those up, but I did want to read them at one point and I still want to read them. So I want to go back, pick up those ones instead of gravitating towards like the newer books that I've just bought. So that is the goal, is to kind of pick up 2 books that have been on my TBR for a really long time, at least a year. And I know that there are quite a few books on my TBR that I've had since the beginning of my channel, honestly. I need to kind of just get to a point where if I don't read them this year, I just probably need to get rid of them in 2021. So I'll see how I do and maybe up that in the next quarter. The next book is to read at least 2 books this quarter that are 500 pages or more. This is more of a goal to push myself to kind of get into the bigger books that I have, because I've been so focused on reading quick, easy books because it helps build up to my Goodreads challenge. And the next goal, I really wanted to think about in terms of like not quantity with these goals as much as like the type of reading that I want to achieve in this year. And so this goal really relates to that and my desire to kind of figure out how I want to read versus how much I want to read. And that is to read at least 1 fantasy book, adult fantasy book, every month. So a total of 3 in the quarter. And this is because I really like adult fantasy, but I feel like that is one area where I've really been reading less of over the years. I've been picking up a lot of like young adult fantasy because those books are just much more quicker to read. But I really like the way that adult fantasy and like high fantasy can really like immerse you into the story. You get really invested in the world, and that's something I want to return to. So the goal is really to kind of bring that into me, and I have a lot of adult fantasy books in my TBR, so I won't have to go out and purchase a book for this goal. So that's what really kind of motivated me to do this as well. So I have a lot of Brandon Sanderson that I have not read yet, so that will probably be like my first picks in this goal. But yeah, just to read more adult fantasy because that's what I really enjoy reading, and I want to read more because I feel like I just kind of out of the loop when it comes to adult fantasy. But when I tell people what's your favorite genre, adult fantasy is usually the genre I say, and it's like I haven't read much in the past couple of years, so it's like, can that really be my favorite genre anymore? So yeah, I just want to kind of explore that genre and see what piques my interest there. So this is really like a bonus goal. I haven't really set like a specific number for it, but I do want to do more Goodreads reviews. I usually rate every book that I read on Goodreads, but I rarely ever write out a full review for those books. And while the rating is nice to have, I tend to fall into an area where I'm like, yeah, I rated this 3 stars, but like, what did I really think about the book? So the idea of this is really to add some more like context to my rating so that I can refer back to those ratings back when if I'm recommending someone a book or if I just kind of want to talk about a book. The next couple of goals are my channel goals. I really only have 2 because my main goal this year is really focused on quarterly goals. I think that's more achievable. I have kind of like a deadline. Okay, I want to post every week for the next 3 months, which is much like achievable goal rather than I want to post for the next 52 weeks versus like now I have 3 months where I'm posting every week. And then if I'm able to manage that, I'm thinking maybe next quarter I'll keep the same goal, and then maybe the end quarter I'll start posting 2 videos a week depending on how the quarter goes. But ideally I just want to stick to this goal, and I feel like I would be much more encouraged and motivated if I can hit this quarterly goal where I'm posting once a week and then go on to the next goal. So I'm a little behind already because I'm trying to post every Thursday, and I did not post a video the first Thursday of January. So this video will be going up, I think, either Saturday or Sunday. So I'm a little behind, but at least it will be within that first week of January. So yeah. we're good to go there. The second goal is to comment on at least 2 videos in the BookTube community. And I've had this goal a couple of times as well on my channel, but ideally this is because I watch a lot of BookTube. I watch a lot of YouTube in general, but I'm always kind of more of just the watcher, not really the engager on BookTube or on YouTube in general, and I want to be more of an engager. So I want to be able to comment on people's videos, kind of talk more about books, because the communications that I have on BookTube is really one-sided because I'm talking to this camera and then posting it, and that's kind of the end of it. So I really want to comment on other people's videos, let them know that I'm there watching and really happy and excited about their content. So I think that's also a really motivating and encouraging thing for other people, is to know that people are watching them and kind of engaging with the content that they create. So I want to be able to do that for other booktubers that I really enjoy watching. So yeah, that is something I want to maintain for this first quarter and see how I do, and potentially go even further by like orchestrating like a buddy reads or a group reads type of thing. Just doing some more things where I can engage in the BookTube community. And finally, I have 3 writing goals. This year, I really want to focus on my writing. Like, that is something that I'm really driven by and I'm really excited by, and especially with this new Kanban kind of process, I really think that I can dedicate a good chunk of my time to writing and really stay organized and motivated through this process. So I have 3 quarterly goals for this year, for this quarter on my writing. And the first goal is that I want to write at least 2,500 words every week, because I don't think I'll be able to write feasibly every day. And if I do write every day, I don't think I'll be able to write a ton every day. So this allows me to write when I can and really focus those chunks of writing like on the weekends when I have more time. I can definitely knock out 2,500 words in the weekend or something like that. So that is a goal. That is kind of like a lesser goal from the other 2 goals that I have, but it's kind of something I want to see. I'm going to be tracking all my writing, so just to see how much I'm getting done on a weekly basis, and then I can kind of adjust this goal in the next quarter to kind of fit where I feel like I'm more aligned with. But I think 2,500 words is manageable every week. And then the second goal, which ties to my goal of reading a nonfiction book every month, is to read at least 1 writing related book every month. So I am really focusing on outlining my book this first quarter, which I will talk about in my second goal. So I'm really going to focus the writing books that I read on outlining, plot structure, character development, that sort of thing. So really like the bare bone researching of the novel and planning of the novel. If I can read 3 books that are related to that, those are nonfiction, so that would qualify for my nonfiction goal. They kind of overlap, which is also a nice thing. So which leads to my third goal, which is to outline, research, and develop / plan my novel. So really this is kind of creating the general plot of the story, listing out the scenes, developing my characters, and really setting the structure in order for me to start writing the actual novel in the next quarter. Those are my reading, channel, and writing goals, and I hope you guys will follow me along on this journey. I'm really excited and really hopeful that this quarterly setup will keep me inspired and motivated throughout a much shorter period, rather than just kind of like having larger scale goals over the course of a year. So I'm really excited about that, and I hope these kind of videos will motivate you. I'm going to be posting a video every quarter where I talk about my quarterly goals, and then at the end of the quarter I'll kind of talk to you about my experience with those goals and all of that. And I think at the beginning of Q2 I'll actually have a video where I set up my Kanban board. I'll go through my entire goals so you can kind of see my process with that as well. So if that's something you're interested in, like this video and let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to the new year, and let me know what your 2 main goals are for this year, this quarter, or however you do your goals. And thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye!